Hi, this is Sergeant Beast Larson, interviewing here in 2021, my new series. Today's interview, getting to know the Beast, how I became the Beast, what motivated me from a young age. I'm actually going to interview myself just for the safety of family and friends. When did you first know you wanted to be a police officer? When I was 11, 12, I started watching the TV show Adam 12. Back in the 70s, back when you had the rabbit ear antennas you had to adjust, you only had one TV in your house. So it wasn't always I got to watch this. I had to take turns, you know, with other siblings and what parents wanted to watch. But that was kind of my first introduction to a police show. Secondly, we had a member of our church, Dad was a preacher at, that actually was a city police officer. Young guy, and Dad set it up. He got to talk to me a little bit and it turns out later in life, when I did become a police officer with the county, I got to work with him his last few years as a city police officer. So, and that was 13 years after we started talking. So that was a really neat thing for me. You get to talk and learn with somebody, and then later get to be a part of the end of their career. So he even though he was on a different department, I could meet him, and he still taught me some things and helped with development and the path of my career. What were the biggest influences on you as a child? Again, watching Adam 12, the TV show, and that's when Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 started to come out. And that became a big part of my life. At 12 years old, I started to run. I started running a half mile. Probably 5 days a week, some push-ups, some sit-ups. And my goal was to be in the Olympics. You know how young people have dreams and everything, but I wanted to be an Olympic athlete. You know, back we would watch the Olympics together, the whole family would sit down. That's one of those things we'd do as a whole family. And I thought to myself, I'm gonna do that. So I started running. And I thought, well, half mile's pretty good at 12. When I get older, I'll run longer and faster. That was my thinking. It kind of worked. How did you begin to prepare for a career in law enforcement? I would say, starting with talking to that officer in church, the running, the push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, and having dreams, having goals. Something that I took very serious at that age. My grades were always straight A's, and I thought I need to be great. I need to understand, proficient with English and above. I was told there was a lot of report writing in law enforcement. So I put school as a priority to excel. So after high school, what was the first step in becoming a police officer? Well, in the state that I'm in, you have to be 21. So I had 3 years time to kill. Well, I just didn't want to kill it, didn't want to goof off. I joined the military for 4 years. What kind of things in the military did you do to prepare to be a police officer, both through the job training, and being physically fit? Well, I joined the military. I got into a security police field, and I thought, that's going to give me a leg up come time to try out and have to beat other people up to get the job as a police officer. So I started with that after being there for a year. After the police academy and being assigned to a base, we had nuclear weapons there, so we had to have a SWAT team. So after 1 year in the military, I tried out for the SWAT team. We had to run, do push-ups, do sit-ups, and I remember I won the push-ups and won the sit-ups. And at 19 years old, I was probably the youngest of that group trying out. And it came time for the run. We did our mile run, and another young guy, a couple years older than me, we were running neck and neck, side by side. And I was thinking about Rocky, and I was thinking about being in the Olympics. And the last couple steps, I got a half a step ahead, and I beat him in the mile run, and that made the difference. They said what I did, that last little bit of effort, they liked my motivation and desire more than his. So I got on the base SWAT team. I worked my way up to be the point man, which for that team, being in the military, everybody had automatic weapons except for the point man. The point man is the first one that would come to the door And this is way back in the 80s, way before we started using mirrors on the SWAT team. Everything was sneak peek. Quick peek, get your head back out of the way. Don't get your head shot off. So I carried a 38. I was 5'9", 130 pounds, about this big around. So I could duck walk forever, you know, quick move in and out, quick peek. I was very agile. That kind of also helped me to obtain that position as point man. But that became another success, another little notch on my goals, that things that I was doing, it just kept rising and rising towards that career in law enforcement. Another thing I did in the military, I got to be a part of a competition team that would travel to other bases, and you did a written test, a job test, you did some team scenarios. They would give you a scenario and you would have to problem solve it, you know, drive your vehicles, deploy your people, you know, what you were doing to handle that situation. And then an obstacle course, which I love fitness. I've been running, you know, push-ups and stuff since I was 12. So that was right up my alley. And then lastly, the fourth part of this was shooting. I grew up shooting BB guns and 22s and shotguns. I love shooting, love guns. And all that fit together. I got to be on that team for 2 years. That was very exciting. After completing the military contract, what happened next? After I got out, I got a little job working some construction a few months, until I got hired on as a university police officer. And this is back in 1990. You know, things were a lot different back then. You know, no MDTs in a car, not using computer technology. This was old school. Clipboard, pieces of paper, you know, checklist. And working at the university was pretty quiet and calm. We had security officers there, and then a couple police officers, you know, for the accident reports, somebody to have legal jurisdiction to make arrests, you know, and take action if necessary. Mostly what I did was, you know, open doors in the morning and lock the doors on night if you're on a night shift. Transport some people around the campus from their cars to the buildings. It really wasn't, it was about 10% police work, about 90% of other. But it was a job. So now on my resume, my background, I had the military, I'd been on a SWAT team, a competition team. Now I have a job as a university police officer, you know, sworn through the state. So I think, you know, at this age, you know, 23 years old, I'm headed in the right direction. And I was. All this hard work eventually paid off. I worked at university about a year and 2 months when I got hired on with the county. And at the time, the county had county police and then the sheriff department were separate. Later, we merged together to make one big, giant, very, very successful department. But I got on the county police. As a new police officer, how did you physically train to improve your survival skills? After completing the police academy, I got a membership at the local gym, a couple other guys. And ultimately, this is where I met my wife, another part of the interview. I continued to run, I was weight training, and I set a goal. We had a SWAT team. I wanted to be on our SWAT team, a real police department SWAT team, within 2 years. I made the team in 1 year. Next question. Tell me about your interview and becoming a SWAT officer on a police department, not in the military. I was asked some questions. Why did I want to be a SWAT team member? That was easy. You know, I explained my life dream to them. I explained that I was proficient in weapons, the weapons we used in the military, physically fit, and how I trained. I talked to them about my weight training, running, some biking, some swimming that I had done through the military. Did a lot of swimming. Come tryout day, I outshot everybody. Did the PT, push-ups, sit-ups, finished first. The run I didn't finish first, but my overall score got me selected. And a highlight of this, in the push-ups, I did 125 full regulation push-ups in 2 minutes. I blew everybody away on that. And probably that was the most single event that stood out on their checklist that got me. So in the military at a SWAT, I got that last little edge in a run. On the police SWAT team, it was the push-ups that pushed me past a guy that had about 7 years on the department. Physical commitment, dedication. I've always been into fitness. I've always told people, you know, I believe in this fit for life. After being on the SWAT, I was also a sniper. I've been to team leader school. Why did you give all that up? The fancy clothes, the monthly training, the whole SWAT experience. Why did you give that up to become a defensive tactics instructor? Complicated but simple answer. One, I knew that SWAT officers their career kind of just goes one direction, kind of like tunnel vision, funnel vision. And I also know that SWAT guys kind of get burnt out from talking and my observation. I was approached by a high-ranking member of the department and asked to teach and build a defensive tactics program. Now it would start with a Monadnock PR-24 baton. Then the next instructor class would be a chemical agent. And then I would go to some ground fighting, handcuffing, defensive tactics, and put all those together. I went to a spontaneous knife fighting instructor, 40-hour class in how to knife fight. Basically, to sum that up, is you don't knife fight. You know, it's how to block and protect yourself. You get a gun. You bring a gun to a knife fight. That's what you do when you're in uniform. So weighing the two, you know, a little bit of burnout. My career's kind of just one path. I can go over here. I can teach. I can open a lot of doors. And this also will require me to maintain a high fitness level. So after 3 years on the SWAT team, I gave that up to become a defensive tactics instructor. How did becoming a DT instructor help your career in law enforcement? Greatly. It opened many doors. I was a lot more physically prepared on the job than the other officers. You know, the tactics, the handcuffing techniques, the takedown techniques, blocking, striking, using my elbows, my knees, my kicks, things that I could do to a suspect, you know, during apprehension and arrest to quickly get control, handcuff, and resolve that without injury. That's the goal, make things quick. So physically it prepared me, mentally it prepared me. I got to go through some training with the FBI and the marshals, you know, mental preparation for armed confrontation. I know there's probably 100 people watching this video that'll say, I've been to that class. You know what I'm talking about. These doors were opened for me. It also opened some doors that, and by this time, you know, we'd merged the county and the sheriff. The sheriff was very, very much in tune with training. And he agreed with me, and he helped to push this with me, that the more we train, the less we become liable. Every time we had a range day, I was allowed to be at the range with my red man suit on. Eventually, he bought 2 Tony Blauer tactical suits. So we had the 2 Tony Blauer suits and 2 red man suits. We got to do a lot of, you know, 2, 3, 4-on-1 kind of training. He believed that. Every range day, he wanted me there. Every time we hired a new officer, I got 2 days with them to go through the PR-24, the mace, and kind of some introduction to defensive tactics kind of thing. He also allowed me, if I could get gym or get locations secured until our new facility was built, anytime I could secure it, give him the date, he'll post it, and we had guys show up. And he would have me be there a whole shift just to train. When they built our new sheriff's office, we had a weight room built, and over top of it, we had a 40 by 40 room, completely padded room. The only thing in there was a couple lockers along the way that contained our training equipment. But 40 by 40 with good padded floor that we could throw and jump and fall down on. That's what he built. That's how much he believed in the training that I was doing. So I'm very thankful to him for that. For his safety, I'm not mentioning his name. It also opened the door. He asked me to begin as an instructor with his Citizens Academy. So I taught use of force. I started explaining things about deadly force, minimal force to him. I taught traffic stops to the Citizens Academy. You know, the watered down version. Citations, you know, what's important to us in writing a citation. I talked about accident investigation. And anytime we needed somebody to fill in, or, you know, wanted me just teach half of it for that night, he could call on me and I was there. So all of these doors, being instructor certified, made a huge difference in my career. Did you continue physical training weight training, fitness training during your career, and what did your training and competitions focus on? Yes, I got in some competitions. What did I focus on? Well, I continued to weight train. I trained at the gym a little bit, and I'm going to throw this in here. At the gym, the other two guys, one of them was on the SWAT team, the other one wasn't. Neither one of them trained nearly as hard as I did. But I was 130 pounds, they were a little bit bigger. I was training because as the wind blows, the truckers call it dusting. It dusts my hat off, my Smokey Bear hat off. The wind would kind of blow me a little bit. So I needed to gain some weight and get some strength because where I worked at, your backup was about 8.5 minutes. So you got to be able to fight and protect yourself. So it was at this gym where I met my wife. And it's a great story. I'm just going to throw a couple sentences out to this. I love you very much, honey. 25 years of marriage after this. Confused about things in life, unsure about things. I prayed, Lord, I want a family. I've made a career decision. I want a family. Please, send somebody, and I'll know that it's the right person because have her be taller than me and ask me out. No, you don't put conditions to God. I realize, now that was wrong. But I didn't pray, but just a couple of weeks of praying this every day. And she had a job at the gym. She came up to me. She's an inch taller than me and asked me out. And that was God's answer to my prayer. We've been together 26 years. Our 26th anniversary is coming up next month. God answers prayers. He does watch over us. A little bit more on that here in a little bit. So yes, I ran, I biked, elliptical machine, and weight training. And most of my training was trying to get heavier, trying to build that muscle. What did I focus on in competitions? When late 30s, as I was gaining weight and getting stronger and stronger, at age 35, I set a goal. I wanted to go from 150 pounds to 205. I also wanted my bench to increase from 315 to 405. Set a 5-year plan. Now that was too long, never set goals that long. I learned later that was a mistake because you work hard and then you slack off and then you work hard. Goals need to be shorter than 5 years, definitely. But I started training and in my late 30s, I got a little bit more serious, wanted to compete in powerlifting. One of the firemen in the city here that I trained on, during lunch breaks or whatever, would weight train with them or hit the elliptical with them. They found amateur strongman, North American strongman, which is the amateur side. And we looked into it. We thought, hey, we're conditioned, we're strong, we can do this. So we picked a competition. It was about 80 miles away. 3 of us were going to go and compete. We'll meet there. And I thought, I knew from experience, if you want something like this and you want the other guys to be with you, you should meet and ride together. That way you know that they're going to be there. No, we've got to meet. I got to do this. I got to do that.